Okay, so here we're going to meet another Roman hero. Her name is Cloelia. Now, one important thing to note is that Porsenna and Rome had come to an agreement about the conditions of peace, but whenever you have some sort of formal negotiation like that, you want to make sure the other side keeps its end of the bargain, so you exchange hostages. So Porsenna sent some hostages to Rome, and Rome sent some hostages to Porsenna. So this is about Cloelia. Porsenna filias nobilium Romanorum inter obsides accapit. So we have our subject here, Porsenna. Filias, of course, is the direct object. Whose daughters? The daughters of this genitive phrase. Okay, prepositional phrase. So, subject, direct object, main verb. Cloelia virgo una ex obsides fuit. Okay, so we're seeing who Cloelia is, and she was a virgo. That is a female equivalent of a Eunice. She was one of them in this group here. Cum castra etruscorum forte haud proco ripa tiberis locata esset, Cloelia dux agminus virginum inter tela hostium tiberum tranavit, integrosque omnes Romam restituit. Okay, we've got a cum, when, since, because, although, and maybe even with. Let's see here. What clues do we have? Well, I don't see an ablative running around after it, so it's not with. That leaves when, since, because, and although. Is there a however on the other end of this? Nope. So it is most likely when, since, or because. So, and I'm going to end that phrase at the subjunctive verb, locata esset. Notice that is a passive two-part subjunctive verb, pluperfect passive. So, the camps of the Etruscans, forte, by chance, adverb, not fortis, the adjective, by chance, haud proco, scarcely far off, from where? From the banks of the Tiber. Okay, so it's probably a since. Since the camps of the Etruscans were located not far off from the banks of the Tiber, so that sounds like a cause because of this thing. Cloelia, and then we're describing her. This phrase is describing her. She is a leader of Agminus. This is not necessarily a military line, but more like a group of people, and she's in charge of them, of the Virgines, who were probably the hostages. What did Cloelia do? Well, she did it here. Prepositional phrase with a genitive there. Tranavit. She swam across the Tiber River. Okay, and apparently they tried to stop them. And what else did she do? Oh, she did it to this direct object, integros omnes. Romam, locative again to that place. Oh, here it is. Cloelia restituit, so she did this to this direct object. Quod ubi regi nuntiatum est rex ira incensus oratores Romam misit ad Cloeliam obsidem deposcendam. Okay, quod here is a relative clause. It means which, and what thing we're referring to is what happened back here. So when, which thing, it's understood when this thing, passive verb, nuntiatum est, perfect passive, and then the king here is a dative. When this thing was announced to the king, what happened? The king, and we have this phrase to describe him. Notice incensus modifies rex. He's incensed by this ablative. And what did he do incensed by this ablative? He misit, direct object, orators, where? To Rome. And look, we have ad plus an nd word, for the purpose of. For the purpose of doing this to the hostage Cloelia. Cum Cloelia revinisset, Porsenna virtutum virginis laudavit, et id facinus supra coclites muciosque esse dixit. Okay, so another cum, when, since, because, although, or with. Well, again, is it an although? Do we have a however on the other end? Nope. And we are thinking it's a when, since, or because of the subjunctive verb here. So there's this clause. We'll go on and we'll go back to this cum clause and figure out what kind it was. Porsenna, subject. Virginum, my bad. Virtutum, direct object, virginus, whose courage. And then here's your verb. So persina laudavit virtutum virginus. So he thought that was cool. And id talks about facunus. Over here we have a prepositional phrase. And what's this? Oh, I see a dixit and infinitive. So apparently we have an indirect statement. So we're going to start it here because we've got the accusative id facunus and then the infinitive esse. So he praised her courage and he said that this thing, esse, so there's your subject and here's your infinitive verb, was beyond those things. So this goes back to then, what kind of a subjunctive clause is this cum clause? It's probably a when because it's talking about the circumstances in which Porcina was talking. So that sounds like a circumstantial clause. It's not because she came back, but it's after she came back. So it's talking about when she did this. That's why it is circumstantial. Tum eam cum parte obsidum Romam remisit. Then eam, okay, that's accusative feminine singular, probably talking about Cloelia. Cum parte obsidum. Notice obsidum here, guys, is third declension, so that's genitive plural. Don't get mixed up thinking that's an accusative singular with part of the hostages. Then he sent her back to Rome. So he just kind of wanted to prove his point. It's not fair that the hostages are running away. He got them back just so he could send them back on his own. Pace redintegrata, Romani novam in femina virtutum novel genere honoris, statua equestri donaverent. In summa sacra via fuit posita virgo incidens equo. Oh, look, ablative absolute. How do we know that? Because we have an ablative noun and an ablative participle. With peace having been that, Romans are the subject, and then we've got something accusative. And it's an adjective. It's got to modify something, probably our direct object. So it's going to start here, and it's going to end here with this accusative. And inside the direct object, we've got this little prepositional phrase. So the Romans did something to the new bravery in the woman. Oh, and they've got this ablative phrase to describe it with a new sort of honor. What did they do, though? I'm dying to know. But before they tell us, they give us this ablative phrase to describe the new sort of honor. And we're still waiting. Oh, here it is, donaverent. The Romans donaverent a new bravery in the woman with this new sort of honor, with a horse statue, okay? And then we have another prepositional phrase, in summa sacra via. Fuit is a verb. Oh, and now they're talking about what it is. Here's posita virgo, that's your subject. And you have a participle modifying virgo. It's actually a participial clause going like this. So we've got, it was a statue, then they give us this whole phrase and apposition talking about it. What is it? A virgin, a young lady sitting on a horse was, where was she? There, on this famous road.